A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you are all well and studying too. Students, in the previous tutorial, we have started a new chapter, Our Changing Earth. But first of all, we are going to do the exercises of the previous chapter. Let's do the exercises.
Exercises. Tick right the correct answer. The period of Delhi Sultanate is 1206 AD to 1526 AD, 1305 AD to 1405 AD, 1615 AD to 1700 AD, or 1720 AD to 1815 AD. The correct answer is 1206 AD to 1526 AD is known as the period of the Delhi Sultanate. Second, which ruler of Delhi Sultanate was called Lak Baksh? Iltutmish, Kutubuddin Aibak, Balban, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The correct answer is Kutubuddin Aibak. Third, the name of Alauddin Khalji's slave was Faiz, Birbal, Malik Kafur, Veer Sen. The correct answer is Malik Kafur. Fourth, Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Rajgir, Jabalpur, Daulatabad, Vijayanagar. The correct answer is Daulatabad. Fifth, Sayyid dynasty was founded by Khizir Khan, Bahlul Shah, Alam Shah, Alamgir. The correct answer is Khizir Khan. Sixth, taxation in Doab occurred during the rule of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Bahlul Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi, Balban. The correct answer is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now true false. Kutubuddin Aibak laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate. The answer is true. Iltutmish assumed the title of Shamsuddin. True. After Iltutmish, Balban became his successor. False. Who became then? Razia Sultan. Malik Kafur was a Hindu slave of Balban. False. Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. True. True, true. False, false. True. Now let's continue the chapter Our Changing Earth. Now we will study the topic measurement of earthquake. How earthquake is measured. The direction of movement of the earthquake waves and their passage at a particular point is recorded by an instrument called seismograph. So what is seismograph? From where the earthquake started up to a particular point, we measured the direction of the movement of earthquake from where it started and up to where it has been traveled. That is done with the help of seismograph, or you can say that it is a type of instrument which is used to detect and record earthquakes. It shows the difference in the arrival of P waves and S waves. So P waves, which you have already studied, primary waves and secondary waves. So it tells the difference between primary waves and secondary waves. Secondary waves, which you know that which is also known as surface waves. This helps to calculate the distance between the recording station and the epicenter, from where the earthquake is recorded, from which place, and the epicenter. Up to there, it tells the distance. Richter scale is used to measure the power of an earthquake on a scale of 1 to 9. So how to measure the power of an earthquake? Through Richter scale. The number indicates the intensity or the magnitude of energy release. It tells that the intensity of the earthquake, that in the magnitude scale how much the earthquake was destructive, from 1 to 9. The earthquake of less than 4 magnitude is mild, but when it is above 6 magnitude, so it causes damage and is felt. Earthquakes cannot be predicted. It is possible, however, to reduce the impact if people are well prepared. So we can this type of naturally occurring forces cannot be predicted. It can come at any time, but we have to be well prepared. Building rules should be made strict. Houses in earthquake prone zones should be built with strong but lightweight materials. So these type of precautions we can take, that building rules, whatever buildings are constructed, now it is constructed on the basis of earthquake. Now earthquake resistant buildings are constructed. They should be built to withstand tremors. So buildings should be strong so that it can face the earthquakes. Now what is earthquake? Earthquake, you know, when tectonic plates they collide with each other, or any explosion or took place inside interior of the earth, then enormous energy is produced, and that enormous energy, it comes on the surface of the earth in the form of waves, and that is called as earthquake. So see student, the diagram here, epicenter, yes, and this is the fault line. Now fault line here means a long crack in the surface of the earth. You have seen that sometimes the earthquake is so destructive that it creates a crack on the surface of the earth, on the top. That is called a fault line. And the waves, because of enormous energy it produces inside interior of the earth, and when it comes on the surface of the earth, it is in the form of seismic waves or shock waves. Yes, seismic waves. So like this, the earthquake is measured. See students, now I am showing you another natural occurring force which changes the face of the earth, and that is volcano. So what a volcano is? An opening vent in the earth's crust through which molten rock and gases erupt from deep inside the earth. So see students, this is the diagram of volcano, and you can see this is the vent. Yes, when volcano it erupts, then what happened? Many molten materials it come outside on the earth. So when this molten material is in this vent, it is called as magma. But when this molten material it comes outside on the earth, then it is called as lava. So this is the vent. Yes, and this is the mouth of the volcano, which is called as crater. And here you can see another side vents are there. Yes, cracks are there, which are also known as crack or fissures. Fissures. Cracks or fissures. Okay, so this is the volcano, and when it erupts, it brings dust, ash, steam, gas, and other molten materials outside from the earth, from inside of the earth when volcano erupts. So this is the diagram of volcano. Now students, we will study the types of volcanoes on the basis of frequency of their eruption, means how frequently they erupt. The volcano is divided into three main types. First is active, second is dormant, and third is extinct. Now first, the active volcanoes erupt frequently and eject volcanic materials. Eject here means push out. These what are active volcanoes? They erupt very frequently, means after few days or months they erupt, and it push out various kinds of volcanic materials. The Etna and the Stromboli in Italy are active volcanoes. So these are the examples of active volcanoes. There are about 550 active volcanoes in the world which frequently erupts. Most of the active volcanoes are along the margins of Pacific Ocean. So Pacific Ocean, you know, so many of the volcanoes, they are found along the Pacific Ocean. This is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. So it is found on the margins of Pacific Ocean. So that is also known as Pacific Ring of Fire. Why? Because active volcanoes are there which erupts very frequently. Now second is dormant volcanoes. The dormant volcanoes have not erupted in the recent times and are regarded as sleeping volcanoes. So dormant volcanoes are those which not frequently erupts. After few years, or after few years only they erupt. So that are known as dormant volcanoes, or they are called as sleeping volcanoes also. Examples: Mount Vesuvius in Europe and Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. These are dormant volcanoes. Now we will study the extinct volcanoes. The extinct volcanoes have not erupted in the known historical period and they are not like to become active again. So extinct volcanoes are there which have not been erupted in the history. Means they are volcanoes but they have not erupted, and in the present in the future also they will not erupt. So that are called as extinct volcanoes. Examples: Mount Kenya in Africa and Mount Aconcagua in South America. These are examples of extinct volcanoes. So three types: active, dormant and extinct. Now students, we will study the distribution of volcanoes, that where the volcanoes are there on the earth. Most of the volcanoes occur near the earthquakes belts around the Youngfold Mountains. So most of the volcanoes where we can find near the earthquake belts. Earthquake belts means that where the majority of earthquake occurs. जहाँ पे हर समय earthquakes आते रहते हैं, that is known as earthquake belts, and they are around the Youngfold Mountains. Youngfold Mountains, what are those? Youngfold Mountains are those mountains which are young, yes, and means they are formed in mountains that are less than 100 million years old. Means they are less than 100 million years old. They are called as Youngfold Mountains. Examples like Andes Mountains, Rockies Mountains. So most of the volcanoes, they are found near the earthquake belt, and these earthquake belt are around the Youngfold Mountains. Volcanoes mostly occur in two major belts, the Circum-Pacific Belt and the Mid-World Mountain Belts. So volcanoes are also found in two major belts. First is Circum-Pacific Belt and Mid-World Mountain Belt. Now this Circum-Pacific Belt is also called the Ring of Fire, and you know that this belt is found it is a zone of earthquake and it's surrounding the Pacific Ocean. So where is Circum-Pacific Belt? Near the or surrounding the Pacific Ocean. Next is Mid-World Mountain Belt. This mountain belt it starts from the West Indies and passing through the Canary Island. Canary Islands here means Spain. Canary Islands are found in Spain. So it starts from West Indies and to Canary Islands. So this here in these two types of belt, volcanoes are found. The Mid-World Mountain Belt is not continuous and has volcanic zones like the Alps and the Himalayas. The volcanic eruption can cause heavy damage to human life and property also. Now student, we will study the major landforms. First we will study mountains. Mountains, plateaus and plains, they are the major landforms which you know. So first we will study mountains. Mountains are specular features that rise several hundred meters above the surrounding land. Specular here means very impressive to see. When you go to the stations, hill stations, there you see the mountains, yes, and they look very impressive to see. So that is the meaning of the word specular, and they are high above the surrounding land. Above 600 meters, they are referred to as mountains and below as hills. So if the mountain is 600 meters high, then the surrounding land, it is called as a mountain. But if it is less than 600 meter, it is called as hill. In Hindi we call it as choti pahadi. The landform rises considerably higher than its surrounding areas. So the landform which is higher than the surrounding areas, that is known as mountains. Within the mountains, there are steep slopes. What are there? Slopes are there. Yes, as you can see here, This is the mountain. Yes. So this is the steep slopes which we can found on the mountains. Peaks here. Here the peaks are also there, and sharp ridges. Ridges here means a chain of mountains are there. Like see, I am drawing like this. Mountains are there. Chain of mountains. Yes, that is called ridges. Different types of mountains are. Now we will study different types of mountains. Young and old mountains, fold mountains, block mountains and residual mountains. Young and old mountains. The young mountain, they have sharp features. You know that young in the have sharp features, and the older ones, they have rounded feature. They are not sharp. The Himalayas are comparatively younger mountains. So Himalayas is an example of young mountains. And the Aravalli, they are the old mountains. Now you students, you see these Aravalli mountains, they are found in the northwestern India. These Aravalli mountains, northwestern India. It starts near Delhi, then it passes through Haryana, Rajasthan, and then it ends in Gujarat. These Aravalli mountains. So these are old mountains. Now we will study the fold mountains. Fold mountains are formed as a result of compressional forces acting from opposite directions. They have folds of parallel ranges. The folding and uplifting of Earth's crust cause parallel ranges. Students, for this I will show you the video. Students, I am showing you the video of fold mountain. See properly how it is formed.
Fold mountains. Fold mountains are formed when the layers of the Earth's crust are folded by compression. To make your own fold mountains with the help of some hand towels, lay 10 hand towels on a flat surface and place 2 shoe boxes on each side like shown here. Push the shoe boxes towards the center as shown. This activity shows us how fold mountains are formed when forces move towards a common center.
So students, you can see that you can also make your fold mountains. You can place 10 towels and shoe boxes on the side of each other. Now you will push these 2 boxes, means that will be called a compressional force.
The Aravalli Range in India is an example of old fold mountain. It was formed over 250 million years ago and has gentle slopes and low altitude due to weathering over time.
Now students, I am going to show you the block mountains, that how block mountains are formed. How fold mountains are formed? When you keep anything in between and you will give a force, then what happen? From 2 sides, the thing which is in between, it will become squeezed when you apply forces from 2 sides. So that is the method of fold mountains. Now we will study the block mountains, and this block mountains you can create your home also. See the video properly.
Block mountains. Block mountains are formed when cracks or faults occur in the Earth's crust and the land between the cracks sinks, leaving upstanding blocks on either side. Block mountains are also known as fault block mountains. You can make your own fault block mountains using a long eraser. Take a long eraser and use a pencil to draw fault lines on it. Use a cutter or blade to cut the eraser across the lines drawn earlier. Place the pieces of the long eraser together to make the eraser whole again. Apply a little pressure on the corner pieces and lift the whole eraser above the table. Slowly, pull the corner pieces apart and you can see how the land in the middle of fault lines subsides and block mountains are formed on either side. The edges of such mountains are steep and the surfaces are almost level. An example of block mountain is the Vosges in Europe.
So students, you have watched the video. So fold mountains, they are formed due to compressional forces, and block mountains, they are formed due to tensional forces, which you have seen because when their cracks occur in the earth. Because of that only block mountains are formed. Now what are residual mountains? Nilgiris in Tamil Nadu are formed as a result of wearing down of surrounding land by rivers, winds and other external agents. The Rajmahal Hills are also an example of residual mountains. Mountains are also formed by accumulating volcanic materials. I will explain you in simple language. Mountains that have been eroded by the agents of degradation such as wind, rain, frost, running water, leaving behind only the hard rocks. When there is heavy rain, then what happen? Landslides occur. Yes, and mountains, they are eroded by these agents of degradation. Then what happen? Only hard rocks, they are left behind. That hard rocks through which mountains are formed, that are known as residual mountains.
So students, I hope you are able to understand the chapter. And what is your homework? Read the chapter very carefully and watch the video too carefully. Meet you in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day.